How you doing today?
Excited? Nervous?
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
In person.
In person. Yeah, I thought you were taller.
So we have had a chance to meet virtually, and we had kind of a bit of a format figured out, and Chris has helped us with that, so thank you, Chris. And I know some of your support team is in the room as well, so if at any point you wanted to kind of introduce anyone, I know that you're in very, very good hands. And I'm trying hard not to be intimidated by just how awesome the people are in this room, so I'm just going to pretend it's you and I.
Okay.
Does that sound good? So how are you doing today?
Doing very well.
Very well.
Very excited to be here.
Yeah. It's a great opportunity, isn't it? Just to spend some time with people.
Yeah, it's giving me a purpose to stay alive.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing here, and that's what I want to continue
It's powerful.
with all these people.
Yeah. Are you able to maybe just begin by giving us a little bit of background about yourself? I know you've had a pretty impressive career in addition to your psilocybin experience.
Oh, yeah.
In public health and in nursing and in health education. So can you tell folks in the room a little bit about yourself? I think it's important.
I did my bachelor's in nursing at Ottawa U. Graduated in 76. In 26, next year, it's 50 years that I graduated as a nurse. Yeah. And worked in public health, mostly in a youth clinic. And I was for 8 years a school nurse in a high school with 2,000 students, which was, yeah. I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, I'm a sister, and I worked a lot with, I called myself a psychosocial nurse. That's really what I did with the teenagers, 12 to 20. So I feel as though I heard everything. And so that's about it. I was very passionate being able to work in public health. And that's where I developed my capacity to be able to listen. And I'm very intuitive and passionate, an extrovert. So it's easy. Oh, and I did teaching for 10 years. I taught nursing students and healthcare, préposés, I don't know what that is in English. Nursing aides, maybe? Orderlies, yeah. So I did that for 10 years. So yeah, that's and as I was teaching nursing, I taught with palliative section, cognitive care, mental health, and everything. So that was more my, and I always would bring a Psycho 101, Psychology 101, and when I'd start doing that, because I'm a student of Carl Gustav Jung, I love him. He saved me, and I even talked to him when I did my psilocybin #1. So yeah, so there's a.
We hear more about that conversation.
So there's a lot that comes from that also.
Okay, yeah. Amazing. Congratulations on a wonderful career.
Thank you.
I imagine, like most people in the room, profound respect for nurses, part of healthcare, moms, grandmas.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So can you tell us maybe a little bit about your cancer journey and what might have led you to consider psychedelic-assisted therapy?
On the 5th of July, 2021, during COVID, my family doctor told me by phone that I had breast cancer. I saw the surgeon a month later. But the mammography had started in April, then the echogram, and then and everything is 1 month later. The surgery, partial mastectomy, and the surgeon said, oh, it's a grade 1, stage 1, you're okay, you'll just need the radiotherapy. And when I saw her a month later, she says, you have bone metastasis. And it's HER2 positive, and so then it's another month before you see the oncologist. And she said, there's no cure. You maybe have 5 years. I'm at 4 years right now. And it was a journey, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. When I started chemo, I was ready. I had my sister with me. Everything was ready. Of course, I'm organized. I'm a nurse. So everything was like this. But they gave me cortisone IV. I got home after my first chemo treatment and I wanted to go shopping. That's how wonderful it was. And then I would get it orally, but I didn't sleep, but at least I had some energy. So from November till May, that was my 6 months of chemo. And on next Tuesday, I'm having my 70th treatment of chemo, my maintenance chemo. So when I had my 50th treatment last September, I invited all my friends. I walked into the oncology waiting room with a lot of people now with balloons, and it's my 50th treatment, I'm still here. And so that's me. So, but I'm feeling good. There's a little bit of side effects, but nothing, there's not the energy or the endurance that I had before. But I'm really doing well. When people look at me, you don't look as though you have cancer. Well, I said, I'm not sick. I just have cancer. So I'm lucky. And last time I saw my oncologist, my son had said, Mom, check and see if it's still 5 years. And she said, I say 5 years to everybody because I don't know how you're going to react. I don't know, you haven't even started the protocol yet. And she says, you're doing well. If it had been 5 years, you'd already be sick. You're doing well, you have no side effects or hardly any. And it's your first protocol, you've got another 10 to 15 years. But I walked out the room and I should have felt good. But she was giving me an intellectual information. When she told me I had 5 years, it's like when you find out somebody died suddenly and they fall on the floor. That's what happened to me psychologically. I crashed. And that's when the pain started. There was hardly any pain before. I just thought it was my age. I'm 71. But I really crashed. So that 5 years was imprinted in every cell. And even if she tells me I have 10 to 15, I have trouble with, I integrated inside of me the 5 years. Now I have to find a way to integrate the 10 to 15. It has to go inside my body. Every time I learned something or I was aware of something new, it has to go through my body for me to live it. So, and of course, scan anxiety every 3 months, and scintigraphie osseuse, and ventriculographie for the heart. So lots of appointments, but I have an excellent support group, really, yeah.
Good to hear. So as you're going through all this, when did it become a possibility or a thought to do psilocybin-assisted?
Fantastic fungi.
Okay. With
Paul Stamets, that's the first time I heard about it. And then I saw a documentary on Radio-Canada, which is the equivalent of CBC, and Dr. Farzin and Dr. Stéphane and other doctors did a documentary on psychedelics. And so I phoned Dr. Stéphane to talk to Dr. Farzin. And in December 2023, I had my first Zoom appointment with Dr. Stéphane. And we did la demande. We took to Health Canada in January, and we got the answer in March. And the 15th of May 2024, that's when I did my first psilocybin. But in the meantime, there was a filmmaker wanting to do a documentary on psychedelics. Of course, I said yes. And so on the 13th of May, there's a production team from Montreal that landed at my place. And they were filming. And then I took the bus the next day to go to Montreal for the psilocybin thing. And on the 15th of May at 6:30 in the morning, the production team is there wanting to film me on my way to Dr. Stéphane's. And I was being filmed through the whole thing, before, during, and after. But it didn't bother me. You're such in your own bubble that you don't realize that you're being filmed. And so on that morning, and I had all the preparation appointments with Dr. Stéphane and Dr. Farzin. And at 9 o'clock, production team, my niece, everybody's gone, and I'm with these two absolute amazing men. And from 9 to 10, it was the set and setting. And I had bought a poster that I had lugged around in the bus coming over. And I had all my little keepsakes. And where's my... Oh, she fell. And my warrior, my inner warrior, my name is Diane, which is Artemis in Greek, which is the goddess of the hunt and the moon. And she had taken away her right breast to be able to, and I have cancer on the right breast. And I identified with her every time we talk about goddesses and everything, not knowing that she would appear in both sessions. And these two men who were doctors, and they say, we're here for you in case something happens physically or mentally. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? I hadn't thought of the physical part, but I was, so I prepared my altar and took out the 25 milligram of synthetic psilocybin and popped it in. And Dr. Farzin was a bit further. Dr. Stéphane was in front of me. I was in a chair. And it started. And the playlist that Dr. Stéphane had prepared, within half an hour, I became the music. The music, I had never lived through so much ecstasy and beauty in listening to music. And this playlist is imprinted in every cell of my body because I listen to it regularly. If I'm not feeling okay, I go back to this playlist and it brings me back. I go down into my peace. And there's one song with Anne McDonald, I think her name is, A Calling Home. When that pops up, the tears, they just pour out, but there's no sadness. There's no fear. It's just overflow. Let's everything go. Let the overflow go, because that image of the owl and the mouse, when I saw that, I went, oh, God. That's exactly what it's like. I call it the black cloud, which is always there. But that image sort of like, ugh. And when Linda was talking about all the things in okay, she's talking about me here. And I decided to do the psilocybin because I said, I want to feel at peace. No way I'm going to stay in this uncertainty. And I don't want to be going through this on the last months of life. I want to be able to feel peace and serenity and diminish the fear of dying. The years I have left. I've always been saying I have 10 years. I have 15 years. I have a few mantras for every day and every night before going to bed. And it was important for me, but I was so scared. I felt as though I was jumping off a cliff, not knowing what was at the bottom. And that playlist, that music was like surfing the waves. And it's the music, the melodies that brought me up and down into what I was going through for the next 6 to 7 hours. And the colors and the sensations, it was ecstasy. And I revisited my life with all the different people who had been significant in my life. That's where Carl Jung came in, because when I spotted him, oh, yes, well, of course you're here. Of course you're here. Oh, thank you. And I'm trying to keep on doing your teachings to other people because I give little conferences for him. Well, for him. Anyway. And and different music also that came along. And my mom, once it was like Inya. Oh, Inya, I remember. I forgot about you. You've been there for so many years. And here I was talking to all these people that I had met. And then I wanted to take my water bottle, and I had the mask. And inside in me, my warrior said, no. That's where I hit the wall. No, 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 you do not take water. We don't need anything. We don't need help. There's no way we're going to go there. And I just took off my mask and I told Jean-Francois, I stood up. I'm in resistance. I'm in control. I don't want to go there. I know where you want me to go, but I don't want to go. And he said with his voice, I know, let me help you. Just that softness of his voice. And I was trying to delay. Dr. Fazin goes by with some tea. No, I asked him for that. And then, I had to go to the bathroom and anything not to go there. And then Dr. Stefan, I said, okay, this is why I did all my, and we had talked about this during our preparation sessions. And I knew why I was there. It was for that. But I didn't know she would be there. And when finally I accepted to go, and then Dr. Stefani says, it's time to lose control. I control, I analyze, everything is. I remember once Dr. Stefani in our preparation session, she says, well, can we just use this rare moment when you're not analyzing where we can try and do some work? And I found out that all the courses, everything I've done in the past 40 years is a lot of intellectual connaissance, intellectual knowledge. Thank you. Because I remember once with my psychotherapist, I said, I have courage, but I don't feel that I'm courageous. And for an hour, he made me go into feeling. What is it about feeling courageous? And I realized that a lot of this doesn't go there. That was the difficulty for my preparation. And so the rest of that session was pure joy. It was ecstasy. And I remember a lot of healing and a lot of forgiveness. And I was going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't listen to you. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was like I needed to tell myself, it's not your fault. You're okay. You're doing what you need to do. And it was a lot of healing with myself for everything. And as you go down, and at one point I said, oh my God, everything is connected. Everything is connected. Everything is in everything. And that appeased me so much because I said, oh, I don't have to be afraid for my sons or my grandkids anymore because everything is connected. And every time I thought the melodies would stop, it continued and it continued. And I said, everything is connected and everything continues. And I saw myself as a child, maybe 7 or 8 years old, running in a field of flowers with something in my right hand and letting go. And my intention, I forgot to talk about intention. My intention as I went into this first session was, I want to let go of my expectations and just live what I need to live. And I'm running in these flowers as a young child, and I let go, and I'm saying to myself, oh, I've just let my expectations go. And I keep running, and I sit by a huge pine tree. A white pine is my favorite tree. And my biodegradable funeral urn will be a pine tree. And when I saw me as a child sitting by that pine tree, that was me. It was like, that's the cycle. You don't have to be afraid. Even if you're going to die, of course you're going to die, but it's the cycle. And that really appeased me, and it made me feel, and as you go down, the music changes a little bit. There's a little more, and music that I had heard, and I said, how do you know about my playlist? This is in my playlist. So it was wonderful. And And after that, it was very peaceful. And they had talked to me. Oh, and Dr. Farzin had told me about inner intelligence healing. And at the first integration the next morning, I told him, it's funny that I didn't talk about my dad. There's so much rage there, but I didn't talk about him. I was sure I was going to go and deal something. And then I said, oh, it's the inner intelligence healing. Because if I had gone right now into my rage with my father, I would never have lived this beautiful experience of ecstasy and beauty and healing and gratitude. It was like, I want to go where I need to go. That's where I needed to go. And I believe in inner intelligence healing. And so I know that made a difference for that. And during that first session, there was a lot of you cancer. In my head, I did it at least 100 times, but I don't know how many times I did it. But it was rage. Fuck you, cancer. And then that appointment next morning, Dr. Stefan says, well, there's a lot of rage for the cancer also. Wouldn't you like to do a second session and accept cancer? In my head, I'm saying, what the hell? Why would I want to accept cancer? No way I'm going to accept cancer. So I answered, well, maybe. And knowing that the second session was going to be like that. So the integration, they had told me, Dr. Fazin said, go into nature. And I went into nature and I knew about neuroplasticity. And it was like different strategies. I had an experience, and I usually become this bad lady who doesn't talk nice if someone forgot my appointment, or if they said no to me for something, I would go, and it would follow me all day. And so something happened 2 weeks after the psilocybin, and I felt, and I went, no, isn't there another way you could deal with this? I just turned around, walked out the door, got in my car, and went and sat in front of the rapids of the Ottawa River. And it was calm, and the rapids were very big, and the geese flew into the rapids. And I said, oh my God, they can still follow the intensity of these rapids and still follow through, let go, and surrender to the current. And for me, it was even in intensity, I can follow these rapids. Sometimes it'll be slow, but sometimes it'll be like this, but you can still let go, lâcher prise, and surrender. So that's the kind of new strategy that I developed. And I know that's the neuroplasticity. I know that that's the psilocybin. So the peace and the love and the gratitude, and it kept on during all that summer. And then we decided to do the psilocybin number 2, which was a group session. Am I okay? Do you want me to?
This is great. So your first session was individual.
Individual.
Second was group.
Second was group. We were 3 women with breast cancer, and we had 5, I call them guides, but therapists, 3 doctors, a psychologist, and an art therapist. And there was a beautiful ritual opening. And Dr. Farzin said that gratitude prayer for the Indigenous people. And then we had a meditation. And of course, back to intention. And I had prepared again for this. Every single time, every Zoom appointment, what is your intention? What is your intention? What is your intention? And I know that the intention is what guided me through both voyages. And I had changed intention at least 4 times during my preparation for the second one. Accept cancer. No. Because if I accept cancer, I accept death. I don't want to accept death. And then I went for a free flight in Montreal somewhere where they make you not good for me. It was my 70th birthday, and I said, I'm going to fly.
Sorry, this is not in the session?
It's not in this session. This is before. This is before the session.
You're not flying yet.
I'm not flying yet. And that's where I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. And for the first time in my life, I felt terror. And I couldn't understand how I was so upset the following days. So I said to Dr. Stefan, I woken up terror. I knew about anger. I knew about fear. I knew about sadness. I did not know about terror. And I cannot live a second session knowing that I will be in terror for 6 hours. He says, you will not be in terror for 6 hours. I will be there. Maybe a little bit, but I'll be there. So I said yes. But that morning in that ritual, they asked us our intention, and my intention changed again. And I just wanted to go and meet my inner self. I want to meet my inner self and let me live what I need to live. And we put our mask, our headphones on, and we each went with our therapist, our guide. And and it was a ritual also that we take our psilocybin all together as a and the first thing, what I'm telling you is very mixed up in time because I don't know what came first or after or whatever. And all of a sudden there's this music that comes on. Oh, this is where I die. Okay, this is where I die. This is where I die. And it was black, and there was a stream of energy, silver and red and white energy that I just followed. And it was like almost I wasn't breathing. I felt as I was breathing just enough to stay alive. And then it was just complete immobility. I don't think I've ever consciously felt immobility that way. It was just immobility, and there was no fear, no sadness, no terror, nothing. It was just, I'm going to follow through. And I don't know how long, probably it lasted the 1 or 2 songs. And then all of a sudden the music changes and I'm elsewhere. And I lived like 5 major moments of grace during that psilocybin session. And the music was different, was another playlist. And I did not see colors. I saw prisms that kept moving, and they were earthy color prisms. And at one point, I couldn't sit anymore. So I got up and I got on my knees, and I had a little pillow under my knees. And I had her in my hands, and it says Diana. My niece bought this for me in Greece last year, and I had brought her with me. And I'm on my knees in front of Jean-François Stéphane, and I'm hurting. It hurts. It hurts on my knees. It hurts in my back. And I know that I have to put her on her side because she's tired. She needs to retire. I can't put her down. And I'm in pain. So Dr. Farzin brings me a big cushion like this to put under my knees. And I tell them, no, please leave me my pain. I need my pain. And my warrior survives on pain. Please leave me my pain. And I'm stuck with her in my hands. And I can't put her down because she's been there for the whole cancer thing and even everything before. And I said, I can't put her down because I'm going to disappoint all the women I'm trying to help. I'm going to, maybe she won't be there to help me to stay alive. And all of a sudden, and I don't know how long I stayed there, and all of a sudden there's like this flow of clarity. And all of a sudden, I put her down on her side. And I'm looking at Jean-François. And I know I can't get up by myself. And inside me, I'm saying, she's still saying to me, you don't need help to get up. Show them at 70 years old, you're still able to get up. You don't need help. I'm going, good grief, ego is so. And I'm waiting, and I don't want to ask him. And again, there's this clarity, this shower of clarity. And all of a sudden, without thinking, I asked Jean-Francois, please help me sit down. And when I sat down, my hips spread into the chair. Ah, I can finally be just a 70-year-old grandmother. I can rest and just be a grandmother. And my intention had been, I want to go to meet my inner self. And at one point, I was looking at Jean-Francois, and he's got hair down to here with a beard, and he became a wolf with the eyebrows out to here and the beard like this and the hair like that. I grabbed onto him and I said, oh, you're a lone wolf. You're a lone wolf. You're just like me. You're just like me. Please help me. Please help me. I have to go somewhere. Please help me find it. For 40 years, I've been looking for a treasure or something. I compared myself to Indiana Jones. Always looking, always taking risks, but never finding the thing. So then he's there with me, and all of a sudden, I say, ah, how disappointing. It's me. I found, and I start laughing and laughing and laughing at myself. No, 40 years of looking, and it's me? Intellectually, I knew that for a long time. But living it, my unconscious opening up, my fears opening up everything so I can go and find myself. And it was like, I don't smile or laugh easily. But this laughing out loud like this, and later I found out that one other woman was doing the same thing with her dad who had died recently. And it was like, there was like a synergy between us three women. There was a really sacred feminine going on in that session. And at one point, I've been holding on to the phrase, I am enough. Because for years, I think I'm not enough. And I remember talking to somebody saying on my deathbed, I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, was I enough? And that bothers me. And at that point, I said, I want to say, okay. I was enough not to be enough. Because every time I was not enough, that was the direction for my children to be on their own and adapt and do what they needed to learn for themselves. And that was very, very smooth to I was enough not being enough. That was like, I've been searching. And that popped out when I first saw the video of Brené Brown and this picture saying, I am enough. And for me, that was very significant. And there was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment with Dr. Farzin, who's right there, who I love. I was talking, when my granddaughter was born 20 years ago, I was very upset because I was thinking, what am I going to, what legacy, what psychological legacy am I going to leave this child? And I was talking about legacy to Dr. Farzin, and he was talking about his son. And it was just a beautiful moment of peace and softness. And I had the picture of my sons and my grandkids here. And I kept saying, It's okay that I died because they live. It's okay that I died because they live. And I wasn't saying it's okay if I die. It's okay that I died. It was done. And it was like, it's okay. I've always been afraid of losing my kids and praying Mary and everybody to protect my kids and make sure they're okay. But everything is connected. Everything is in everything, and everything continues. So that was a beautiful, beautiful moment with Dr. Farzin. And again, the inner healing intelligence, because my intention was I want to go and meet myself. And the inner healing intelligence, it brought me exactly where my intention had been. And ever since then, every morning, there's the prayer of gratitude, and there's what is my intention for the day. So, of course, this morning in my hotel room, that's what I did. What is my intention for the day? And that was my psilocybin experience. Oh, and one more experience was with Emily. For the first time, I had women as guides. And at one point, I'm with Dr. Stefan, and I say, oh, I need Emily, I need Emily, I need Emily, I need Emily. She comes and she's sitting there, and I'm like this. I just grab her like this. And I'm crying and I'm crying and I'm crying. And there was a sisterhood, a sorority, a closeness that only women can understand. And there were no words, there were no feelings. There are no words to describe the pain, the fear, and the injustice that the women are going through. And it had to be with her. It had to be a sacred moment that I lived with her. And it was so intense, but it was weird not having the thoughts or not having it was physical. It was visceral. Yeah, it was visceral. So absolutely amazing. And after the session, I felt unified. I stayed home for 5 days. I didn't see anybody. I couldn't. And it was, and I know that the psilocybin opens up my unconscious, helps me go through my fears and my traumas. And I still feel the peace. I'm still integrating. I lived something very difficult in the last month. Oh, and my drama queen sort of, I thought I'd get rid of her completely after the first session, but then she popped up and I said, oh, you're still there. But now she only whispers. She doesn't yell anymore. And I'm more calm. And I can live with her now instead of wanting to eliminate her.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We're not going to close yet, but just thank you. Thank you for sharing something that is hard to describe and be extremely instructional for people. And I understand how deeply personal it is.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for translating all of that
Thank
to
you.
us today.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few minutes. You've answered every question I had. Is Chris in the room? Is Chris here? Because Chris and I met with Diane before, and there were so many elements of what you just told that I didn't even know about or we hadn't heard previously.
Okay.
Which just shows how remarkably vast these experiences are. I'm so glad you had such an exceptional care team.
I want to read something for Dr. Farzin.
Perfect.
And for all the others that will be doing this, accompanying me. I cannot, and I want to read it because I don't want to forget anything. I cannot overlook the impact of the support I received from Dr. Stefan and Dr. Farzin. I was able to live my psilocybin experience in complete safety, accompanied by 2 compassionate men experienced in the healing profession. They witnessed my life, my suffering, my madness, my exuberance, my outburst, and my terror. I did some cut and paste this morning. All this with respect, without intervening, except when I needed it, at times a message of encouragement delivered with gentleness and an uncommon compassion. It was a staggering and exceptional generosity. I'm going to cry. How can I express to these two men the extraordinary feeling of being worthy enough for them to choose to care for my physical and psychological well-being for hours on end? Have I ever been given before such a quality of presence and kindness by two strangers, two men, two doctors who let themselves be guided by the conviction that this therapeutic journey into my psyche is a privileged path to ease end-of-life anxiety? I felt calm and comfortable by Dr. Stéphane. His voice was a serene, calming, and confident invitation. From Dr. Farzin, I felt a quiet strength, a grounding solidity. I felt safe because I sensed their trust in the process, and that allowed me to surrender to the journey. It was truly a leap of trust into an exceptional and incomparable experience. Thank you, Dr. Stéphane and Dr. Farzin. Thank you so much.
Wow, amazing, amazing. We're going to be integrating all this for a while, I think. Thank you so much, Diane, again, for your courage and your willingness to share. I'm sure people have questions and comments. We're going into a break now, so we've got about a half an hour. Out in the lobby, we'll have some food and drink, and we'll be back here at 3:15 for the next time.
Thank you.
That's remarkable. That's remarkable. Well done.